For the information of the Senate, on behalf of the leader, I ask that yesterday's order with respect to the Crews nomination be executed at 11:30 a.m. today.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm delighted that you're in the chair for this conversation about Judge Kato Crews. Today, I rise in strong support of President Biden's nominee for the U.S. District Court for the District of Colorado, Judge Kato Crews. Judge Crews is a true son of Colorado. He was born in Pueblo, in the high desert, the southern part of our state. His family didn't have a lot while he was growing up, but his parents worked hard and always put their kids first. Since he was in middle school, Judge Crews knew he wanted to become a lawyer. His dad was a solo practitioner in Pueblo, and although Judge Crews didn't really know what his father did for work, he knew he was helping people and that he had the respect of the community. Judge Crews attended public high school in Rye, Colorado, a small town in the San Isabel foothills, where he was the only African-American male in his entire school. He earned a BA from the University of Northern Colorado and then a JD from the University of Arizona, where he served on the law review, where he made the dean's list and offered pro bono services to survivors of domestic violence. After law school, Judge Crews returned to Colorado to serve as an attorney for the National Labor Relations Board, where he investigated and prosecuted charges of unfair labor practices. And he spent the next 17 years after that in private practice, first at a large firm in Denver, where he made partner, and later at a smaller firm he founded with colleagues. In private practice, Judge Crews focused on civil litigation and employment law, representing both workers and employers. He tried approximately 18 cases before federal courts, state courts, and administrative agencies, serving as chief or sole counsel in jury trial, bench trials, and administrative proceedings. And for the last 5 years, he's served as a magistrate judge for the Federal District of Colorado. And in this role, he performed most tasks expected of a district court judge on the federal bench, from handling evidentiary proceedings to all matters before, during, and after trial. During his time on the bench, Judge Crews saw how pro se litigants often struggled to advocate for themselves. He also saw younger lawyers that were eager for courtroom experience, so he founded a program to connect the two, giving young lawyers in Colorado for the first time valuable time in court and pro se litigants free help to navigate certain proceedings that these young lawyers were capable of handling. That's just one example of Judge Crews going the extra mile and of his commitment to making the legal system more accessible, a lifelong commitment to making the legal system more accessible to litigants, to future lawyers, and to the community it serves, most importantly. As Colorado's first African-American magistrate judge, Judge Crews spends as much time as he can in the community, serving on nonprofit boards, mentoring students, and using the power of his example to help young Coloradans imagine a career in law for themselves. Former mentors and colleagues all describe Judge Crews as a true public servant who works hard, never loses his poise, and never forgets where he came from. He is one of the most accessible judges on the bench and in our state, and he knows the law as well as anyone. Judge Crews knows what it means to try a case as a litigator and to preside over one as a judge. He's practiced law for the government and firms, both large and small. He's tried cases from the perspective of employees and employers, for clients with a lot of money and resources, and for clients with none at all. If confirmed, Judge Crews will follow in the footsteps of Judge Moore, who has taken senior status to become the only African-American judge on the district court. And Judge Crews will become the only district court judge born and raised in Pueblo, Colorado. And that means something to me and to the presiding officer, bringing a really important perspective to the bench from a critical but sometimes overlooked part of our state. With his experience, with his intellect, with his character, Judge Crews will make a remarkable addition to Colorado's district court. And I urge my colleagues to confirm this morning Judge Crews with a strong bipartisan vote. And I would say, before I surrender the floor to my colleague from Colorado, what an extraordinary job he has done in providing leadership to the selection of these judges, to the nomination of these judges for President Biden to consider. It's extraordinary. We've had a number of vacancies on the district court. We have worked very hard together to make sure those vacancies are filled in as expeditious a way possible. In fact, I would argue probably more expeditiously than any other federal district court in the country. That would not have happened without the leadership of Senator Hickenlooper, who, with his team, when he came into office, observed that the process that I had in place was a little bit creakier than maybe it should have been. And together we've been able to improve it. And I want to say thank you also to the tireless advisory committee of members of the bar in Colorado who have given us their best recommendations all along the way, including the recommendation that now has led to the nomination of Judge Kato Crews and hopefully his confirmation today. So with that, Mr. President, I yield the floor and look forward to the next speaker.
Today, the Senate will consider President Biden's nominee, Judge Kato Crews, for the United States District Court for the District of Colorado, as our senior senator so ably represented. I'm not a lawyer. I bring a slightly different perspective, but I do recognize the experience and sensibilities that Senator Bennet brings to this, and I would argue that there's no one else in the Senate that has spent as much time really looking at our legal system and examining it from a variety of different perspectives and really understands what it means to serve on our federal courts. Judge Crews came before us and comes before this body with broad and well-earned bipartisan support thanks to a career dedicated to the people of Colorado. His experience, his intellect, his integrity set him apart. They make him an ideal candidate for the federal judiciary and will make him a judge for all Colorado. As Senator Bennet mentioned, he comes from a part of Colorado, Pueblo, in the south central part of the state that sometimes has been neglected in these types of appointments. And Judge Crews will bring that valuable experience from southern Colorado, but he also understands the whole state. In addition to the more than 20 years of legal experience that he brings to the bench, Judge Crews also served as a magistrate judge on the U.S. District Court for the District of Colorado since 2018, the same court to which he has been nominated. He's also, as Senator Bennet mentioned, he has a tremendous commitment to pro bono work, founded that federal limited appearance program, a volunteer program that provides people with free representation when they first engage with our legal system. For many people, this can be an unknown and scary time for them, really for any citizen. But this program lends a helping hand and helps people deal with that anxiety. Judge Crews's experience in community service has earned him the enthusiastic support from members of the Colorado legal community, up and down the list, former colleagues, labor leaders, elected officials. In supporting his nomination, a group of attorneys who have appeared as opposing counsel in Judge Crews's courtroom wrote that, I'm going to quote this, as a group they wrote that not one of us questions Magistrate Judge Crews's intellect, integrity, respect for the law, and the profession we share. They then added that he has, and I quote, he has embodied what all hope to see in a judicial officer: fairness and impartiality. And I could not agree more. Kato has my full and wholehearted support. He is exactly the type of person that needs to be on the bench, needs to join the court. In May, the Senate Judiciary Committee favorably reported Judge Crews's nomination to the floor, and now I want to wholeheartedly encourage all my colleagues in the Senate to support his confirmation. This is a proud day for Colorado. Colorado should be and is proud that we can put forward someone like Judge Crews. I know it is also a proud day for Judge Crews and his family, of course. We want to make sure it's a really good day, so I hope everyone will support him. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor. And no
We'll call the roll.
Ms. Baldwin.